Happy days.
Hello. Hello, and welcome to today's live session with myself, Scott Raleigh, and Mike Morelli, both from Peak Prosper. We're super stoked to talk about one of the many mindset principles that millionaires embrace, and that is the habit of giving. Mike, can you kick us off here today and just describe a little bit about what this funky diagram is on the whiteboard that we came up with is?
Yeah, I think one of the important things to decode is the millionaire mind, right? And, you know, this, we're talking about the concept here of giving, but also receiving. And this is not about virtue signaling. We want to make that very clear. This isn't about, saying to you, hey, you should go out and give all your money to donations. This is not what this is about. This is for you to experience higher levels of health, wealth, and happiness in your life. And so a lot of the times when we think about giving as human beings, we automatically go to money. We automatically think about this girl on the front of our doorstep selling Girl Scout cookies, and God, those things are delicious. I love those Girl Scout cookies. We think about like going to a charity and donating, but it's not about that. It's about an energy system, right? And we know that everything is energy. So if we give the energy, maybe we give some of the financial resources, maybe we give love and happiness, that ultimately these things are going to go back around. But here's the catch, Scott. Here's where a lot of high performing adventurous men fall into a trap. They stop the energy flow, right? They stop the energy flow. Why? And we're going to get into the reasons why as men we do this. But that's what this topic is really going to be about today. We're going to make it short and powerful for you guys.
Mike, how do people stop the energetic flow of giving and receiving?
Yeah,
How can we
absolutely.
stop
Yeah. So the first thing is that we don't feel worthy enough, right? So number one would be worthiness, and this worthiness story that a lot of high performing men are dealing with is a story that it's not true or false, but it's something that we believe. And we try to go out our whole life trying to figure out, am I worthy enough, right? And so a lot of the times men will go out into the external to find their source of worthiness. They'll do it through maybe getting this, fancy college degree. They'll do it from waiting for their girlfriend or their wife to say, you're amazing. They're going out and seeking approval in the form of, earning a lot of money or maybe having a nice car. And once I have these external things, Scott, then I'll allow myself to finally be worthy of who I am as a leader in this world. And my challenge to you is, if you struggle with that, stop believing the worthiness story. It's just a story. So you may as well just make up one that is supportive to your life. Now, I want to make a real quick caveat here. The scope of this video today, this live, is not to go into worthiness, but to show you that if you are falling into the trap of believing that you're not worthy enough, that it is a story. And, it's stopping the flow. It's stopping the flow of you experiencing higher levels of health, wealth, and happiness.
Mike, I'd like to add one thing, and I don't even really know how to sum it up into one word other than not being a great receiver.
Yep.
And what I mean by that is, if someone wants to buy my dinner for me or give me a free dog training session,
Yep,
or whatever it might be, and I create this resistance response to that desire to give,
yep,
that blocks this energetic flow of give and receive.
yeah, absolutely. Scott, can you write that down under unworthy? Because this is another reason why we don't experience the highest levels of fulfillment in our life. And that's because you're a poor receiver, right? And the reason for that, Scott, is that a lot of high performing adventurous men, as a leader, that's what they aspire to be. They think that I should not receive, right? That it's, we're taught this sometimes from our parents, is that you should always give. You should always give, right? I mean, how often has society just programmed that into people's brains? And the reality is that giving does not exist without receiving. So here's the catch. Let's say, for example, someone wants to buy you dinner, and you're at that dinner table and you're saying, no, you're giving all the internal resistance because of some story that you believe that, no, you should never let anyone buy you dinner. You should never, you always pay your fair share, right? You're stopping that person from, one, giving, right? You're stopping the energy flow. And two, you're actually disrupting their happiness. Because, Scott, I want you to think about this for a second. Think about the last time that you gave to someone, right? Can you give me an example?
I actually just gave away an audiobook about 5 minutes before this meeting today.
Okay. And how did that make you feel?
Just amazing. You know, this guy asked me on Messenger if there was books that I recommended, and I thought, well, oh, this is a beautiful opportunity for me to share some of my insight and amazing books that I've read. But not only that, also give him a book. And this guy did not resist the reception of my desire to give him a book. He could have been like, no, don't worry about it.
And how, if he did that, total transparency, if he said to you, nah, man, no, dude, you don't need to do that. I'm going to pay for it. How would that have made you feel?
It just would have bummed me out a little bit. I mean, it's an example of rejection, right?
Yep.
Bottom line.
And so if you guys think about this, a lot of the men that are attracted to Peak Prosper, they're men who want to inspire other people, lift people up, right? Create massive value. And we love to give. We love to give our time, energy, resources, capital, whatever the case may be. But I want you to think about when you try to give and someone stops you, how crappy that makes you feel. I mean, literally 2 months ago, I reached out to a guy that I know in my network, and I wanted to send him a book that I thought would have been incredibly valuable for his business, right? A book that's changed my life. And he just kept rejecting me. He kept giving me internal resistance. He kept giving me resistance. And it would really, I'm not going to lie, it pissed me off. And it really pissed me off. And I was thinking in my head the whole time, dude, I'm trying to send you a book. Like, because I like you. And two, I think it'd be valuable for you. And it completely disrupted the flow of energy. So here's the catch, Scott. Here's the thing that we don't understand sometimes as humans. In nature, we talk about everything is energy. And we're not going to go into the physics behind that, but everything is fundamentally energy, right? So in nature, when you are looking at water flowing downstream and there's a rock in the middle of the stream, what does the water do when it hits the rock?
Well, it does one of two things. It hits the rock, it goes around the rock, and it keeps flowing to the ocean where it wants to go. Or it's one of those microbial elements of water that bounces up onto the rock and evaporates into the ether.
Right. So you're saying to me that the water, it hits the rock, right? Okay, it hits the resistance, but finds a way to either dissipate or move on, right?
It keeps moving.
Okay. So if you're a guy here and you want more money in your life, you want to experience more love, and you want to experience more happiness, and life will constantly be giving you these opportunities. However, if you stop the flow, that energy is going to hit you, which is you're resisting it, and it's not going to just evaporate. Energy cannot be destroyed. It is going to flow to someone who is open and willing to receive more money, more love, more happiness, more health in their life. So my question to you guys watching this video right now is, how often have you found yourself resisting, either because one, you're a poor receiver, or two, you don't believe that you're worthy enough? How often do you think you've been resisting higher levels of fulfillment in your life?
It's a brilliant question, Mike. And I'd just like to add something that came up in a conversation I had yesterday. And that was, if there's not enough of something in any one area of my life or your life, it's so critical to take that perception of something that's missing and then look deeply, introspectively, at how we are not giving that to the world energetically, whether that's monetarily, emotionally, or some physical support that a relationship might need, so that the universe then can give it back to us.
Yeah.
Mike, as we get close to wrapping up today's session, can you give us some ideas of how we can stay in this energetic flow of give and receive? I mean, we're pretty clear on what we should avoid, but how do we stay in this wonderful flow?
Yeah, great question, Scott. And I would venture to guess that a lot of the guys watching this right now are in our transformation program. I know that they're excellent givers. I know that because, one, we've talked to these guys. They've expressed who they want to become and the things that they're doing in their life. They are excellent givers. And I would venture to guess that a lot of the people in Mindset Secrets are also great givers. But I want you to challenge you to practice receiving. All right. So for the next 24 hours, or the next, let's say for the weekend, because it's a Friday, happy days, and someone's going to give you a compliment. All right. I want you to first become aware of, okay, I'm going to be an excellent receiver this weekend. Someone may cook you dinner. Someone may give you a compliment. Maybe you cook dinner for your girlfriend and she says, hey, that was an amazing dinner. I just want you to say, hey, thank you. That's it. Don't give a compliment back. Don't. When someone gives you a compliment this weekend, don't give a compliment back. Don't give it away. I want you to say, hey, thank you so much, and take that in and see how that feels to truly accept a compliment. If someone gives you a gift, whatever the case may be, hey, I want to buy you dinner. Hey, I want to do this for you. I want you to practice being an excellent receiver this weekend and see how that feels.
That's brilliant, Mike. And for those listening or who might listen to this in the future, I think that when you go apply this practice of receiving, if you're not already in this state, it might feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So often after we're given a compliment, we want to give a compliment back. Or when somebody offers to buy us dinner, we meet that with resistance to feel like we have to pay our bill or whatever it might be. So if those are behaviors that you've exhibited in the past and it feels uncomfortable practicing what Mike is suggesting today, that's perfectly normal.
Yeah. And Scott, it's like worth a caveat noting is that typically when you're doing something that it feels uncomfortable, that just means that you're doing something different. And that's a good thing. And so for a lot of the guys watching this right now, maybe you thought that we were going to challenge you to go give this weekend and go donate your money, your time. No, I actually am challenging you to actually be an excellent receiver. We are challenging you to be an excellent receiver this weekend. So if you're watching this video, I want you to comment down below, I am an excellent receiver. Make that known, put it down and put it into the world that, hey, I am open and willing to receive more levels of love, more levels of satisfaction, more levels of health, wealth, and happiness in my life. So comment down below in the comment section, I am an excellent receiver. Happy days.
Brilliant. Thanks for jumping on live today, Mike. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Peace.
Peace.